here is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to Bunko Fugitive Detail. You receive information an escaped criminal is hiding out in your city. He's dangerous. He may be armed. Your job, get him.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke king-size Fatima. Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild. And that's why Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. So, enjoy Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Thursday, April 27th. It was warm in Los Angeles. We were working a night watch out of Bunko Fugitive Detail. My partner is Ben Romero. The boss is Blaine Steed, captain of Bunko Fugitive. My name's Friday. I was on the way back from communications. It was 6:45 p.m. when I got to room 38, squad room. Hi.
How are you?
How about some dinner?
Well, we got one to check out first. Here's the teletype. Skipper just brought it in.
Thanks. From San Rafael, huh? Pick up and hold for this department one Alfred Garvey. Wanted for suspicion, forgery, robbery. This man poses as a fingerprint expert from San Rafael Police Department.
Here's his mug pulled from the record bureau.
Mm-hmm. We're informed Garvey is registered at the Fair Deal Hotel, your city. Where's that?
Over near First and Broadway.
Please advise us on his arrest, and officers will arrive with warrant signed. Chief Police Frank Kelly, San Rafael, California.
Shouldn't take long to pick him up.
All right, we can eat later, I guess.
Hi.
Hi, Max. What are you doing around? I thought you took off on vacation.
I am. Just came back to pick up some stuff in my locker.
Soft touch.
Sure. Listen, White's got the car there. Are you guys going anywhere near North Main and Daly?
Yeah, but we're going to leave right now.
Oh, okay. Let me grab my coat.
All right.
You live out near Highland Park, don't you, Mac?
Yeah. White took the kids shopping in the car this afternoon. Had to get them shoes for our vacation. Kids sure scuff up the toes in a hurry.
All right, you all set?
Let's go.
Where are you going on your vacation?
Big Bear. Gonna stay the whole 3 weeks. The in-laws own a cabin up there. They even pay the utilities for it.
Pretty nice.
Only one trouble.
What's that?
They're coming with us.
Oh.
Where'd you park?
In the captain's stall.
All right.
All right, in the back.
Okay.
You two still working on that Valley case?
No, we washed it up Monday.
What's this one?
Teletype from San Rafael. And what some guy picked up. Here's a mug shot.
Who's Richards going to work with while he's gone, Mac?
I don't know. What's the crowd up ahead?
Oh, yeah. Shriners Convention. I forgot they were having a parade tonight.
You better stay over to one side. I think we can get through all right. Watch those kids there.
Yeah, there we go.
That's the place up ahead, isn't it?
Fair deal, yeah.
We got to stop by this hotel a minute, Max. You want to wait here?
I'll come in.
Big turnout for the parade, huh?
Yeah, it's a big crowd.
Fair Deal Hotel.
Look at those rates. 35 cents a day, $2 a week.
Yes, sir. Can I help you? Police officer, would you look at this picture, please?
All right. Maybe registered as Alfred Garvey.
Garvey sure came in yesterday. The picture makes him look old.
Is he in now?
Well, let's see. Garvey, room 307. The key's gone. He must be in.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Elevator's down there at the end of the hall.
Okay.
The elevator's in use.
Let's take the stairs.
I'll wait for you here. I want to see the parade.
Okay, man. I've never seen it to fail.
It's
Stairs. Every time my arches hurt, we get a thief to check who lives upstairs.
just one more flight.
Yeah.
305, 307.
Door's open.
Let's have a look. Come on.
Empty. Nothing in the closet, huh?
Yeah, pretty fast checkout.
It came from downstairs.
The lobby. Come on.
Yep.
Come on, hurry up.
Yep.
Hey, stop him! Stop that guy, police! The police!
It's Maxwell.
Max, are you all right?
He went out the door, blue suit.
It was Garvey. He shot your friend.
Call an ambulance.
He ran out the door. He shot your friend.
Come on, Ben. Call that ambulance, will you? Hey, you. Did you see a man come out of this hotel? Did you just see a man come out of this hotel?
That one? I don't know.
All right, Ben, you go that way. I'll check up this way.
Yeah, right. What's the matter? Watch where you're going, huh?
Did you see a man running up this way just now, about my height, blue suit?
Huh? No, I didn't see anybody. Did you see anybody?
Hey, boy.
Yeah, you want a paper, mister?
No, listen, did you see a man running by here a minute ago in a blue suit?
Oh, maybe. I didn't notice it. You want a paper?
I'm sorry. Sorry, lady. Ben, over here. Did you spot him?
No, we're going to need help.
All right, come on.
I called the ambulance. You better help your friend. He's bleeding. I don't know what to do.
Ben, get a hold of communications. Get some help out here.
Right.
The guy came down in the elevator. It was Garvey, your friend, tried to stop him. Garvey shot him right in the face.
All right, stop yelling,
It was
huh?
terrible. Now, look, he's bleeding. You better do something.
Will you shut up? Max, how is it?
Chester.
Yeah, all right, easy, huh?
Garvey came out of the elevator fast with a gun.
All right, take it easy now.
Joe, I got communications there. Blocking off the area.
That's fine. Watch that front door. Will you keep those people out of here?
Yeah.
Chester.
They'll be here in a minute, boy.
Call the wife, Eleanor.
Ambulance is here.
Yeah.
He looks bad.
Well, he's not going to get any worse.
Huh?
He's dead. The name on the personnel report said John Warren Maxwell, Sergeant, Los Angeles Police Department, badge number 10377. Nearest living relative, wife, Eleanor Jean Maxwell. Dependents, John Maxwell Jr., 6 years. Deborah Lee Maxwell, 2 years. Death in line of duty, April 27th, 7:15 p.m. John Maxwell's body was removed from Georgia Street to the county morgue. At 7:45, a special detail of men from homicide and bunco fugitive were on the scene to aid in the investigation of the killing. The neighborhood where the Fairdale Hotel was located was covered for a half mile around. By 9 o'clock, the parade was over and the area was cleared. We had a single lead to work with. In checking out the different taxi cab stands in the neighborhood, we found out that 3 separate fares had been picked up within 2 blocks of the hotel 4 minutes after the shooting. Ben and I went to the offices of the taxi cab company. The cabs in question were called in and the way bills were checked. The times of the 3 different trips were listed, and so was the address of each destination. We copied down the addresses and then interviewed the drivers.
We're going to give each one of you half a dozen pictures. I'd like to see if you can identify any of them as passengers you picked up tonight near the Fairdale Hotel.
All right, here you go.
There you are.
4, 5, 6. Check them carefully,
Oh,
please.
here are yours right here. Take a good look at each one of them.
Okay, thanks.
Now, fellas, take your time. Look them all over real good before you make up your mind.
Yeah, here's the one, Sergeant. No mistake.
Let me see. Where'd you pick up this man?
About a block from the hotel. I drove him to a place on 14th Street. Same address on the way bill.
Ben?
Yeah?
Alfred Garvey. Ben and I, along with Ricketts and Chandler from Homicide, drove out to the 14th Street address. Another small transient hotel. The clerk on duty identified Garvey from his mugshot. He said the suspect had called at the hotel at about 7:45 that night and asked to see one of the guests, Mrs. Lorraine Thomas. The clerk said he told Garvey Mrs. Thomas was out, but she hadn't been there for 4 days. Ricketts and Chandler went on stakeout in the lobby of the hotel, and Ben and I went up to the second floor to stake out Mrs. Thomas's room. Friday, 11:25 a.m. Lorraine Thomas returned to the hotel and was taken into custody. We took her to Homicide and questioned her for more than an hour. She admitted that she was acquainted with Garvey, but that's all. 1 o'clock. We went to Clifton's cafeteria for lunch.
Here, take this tray.
Thanks.
Silverware?
Get here a little earlier, you wouldn't get it. Look at that line running.
You were the first one he ran to after the shooting.
Oh, Garvey doesn't have many friends in Los Angeles. Maybe that's why he looked me up. I'll have the mixed green salad, please.
What kind of work does Garvey do you know?
He told me he was in the Merchant Marine.
Coleslaw?
Some of that potato salad, please. You know what he does in the Merchant Marine?
He told me he's steward. French dressing, please.
Do you know any of his friends in town?
No, I don't. Rye bread. Can I have an extra butter, please?
Oh, French roll. What kind do you want, Ben?
Yeah, give me some of those biscuits. Thank you.
Garvey usually stay at the Fairdeal Hotel when he's in town?
I don't know.
That split pea soup sure looks good, doesn't it?
We told you it's the police up north were looking for him.
Yeah, I know you did. Like I told you, I've been out with him a few times. That's all I know about him.
He must have introduced you to some of his friends.
I'll have the prime ribs there. Rare. That piece there.
How about it? Did you ever meet any of his friends?
Yeah, one or two. No gravy.
Meatloaf, brown gravy. You remember any of the names of his friends?
I just met him, that's all. I don't remember.
Let me have a roast turkey. Go kind of heavy on that dressing, will you? Did you ever go out with any of them?
No.
Why do you think Garvey went to your hotel after the shooting?
I don't know.
Maybe he figured you'd hide him.
I don't know why he should.
He killed a man and headed straight for your place. Doesn't make you look too good.
I can't help that. I like some of those string beans, please.
Miss Thomas, you know it's going to go hard on you if you're holding back information on Garvey.
I'm not.
Why don't you take some of that summer squash, Joe? It's good for you.
Well, I can't eat that much. When did you first meet Garvey?
About 3 years ago, up in St. Helena.
You might as well keep your nose clean.
How do you mean?
We're going to reach you, Miss Thomas. You might as well tell us all you know.
Look, if Garvey's killing people, I don't want to have any more to do with him.
We do. Now, where is he?
I told you I don't know.
Squash, please.
You said you had a little boy, didn't you, Miss Thomas?
Do we have to talk about it now? I thought we were going to have lunch.
How old's your little boy?
He's 7 years old.
Where is he now?
He's in school up in San Francisco. Isn't his line going awful slow?
Lunchtime. You know that cop that Garvey killed last night?
Mashed potatoes, country gravy.
You hear what I said?
Yes, I know he killed a cop.
He had a little boy, too.
There's nothing I can do.
No potatoes, thanks.
Yeah, there's something you can do, Miss Thomas. You can tell us where Garvey is.
If I knew, I'd tell you.
French fries, please.
You're kidding us, Miss Thomas, but we're not going to kid you. You know a lot more about this than you're telling us.
Maybe I do, but I'm scared.
Who are you afraid of?
Look, why can't you count me out of this? I don't want any part of it.
You're in all the way. The only way you're going to get out is to tell us what you know.
He'll kill me. Suppose something happens to me, nobody's going to worry about my kid.
You don't have to worry. He's not going to find out.
No dessert, please.
They'll both kill me.
Both? Who's the other one?
Oh, what's the use? Trouble, no matter what you try to do, nothing but trouble.
Garvey's working with somebody, is that it?
His name's Jack Fleming.
Yeah?
They made me promise to cover for him. Give him a place to hide out whenever the heat was on.
Then you know where they are.
No, I don't, and that's the truth.
Why do they need a place to hide out?
You said Garvey killed a cop.
What about Fleming?
Hey, Joe, you better move along.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about Fleming?
They're going to pull some jobs.
All right, we can skip the dessert. Come on. I'll take the check for all of them.
Let's go.
What kind of job? Where?
Hold up. Tomorrow night. Three Kings liquor store out in Wilshire.
Let's sit down.
They're both the same, Garvey and Fleming. They can't hold a gun without using.
Here's the table. Oh, you dropped your tray. I'll get you some more.
Don't bother. I'm not hungry anymore.
You are listening to Dragnet, the case history of a police investigation, presented in the public interest by Fatima Cigarettes.
If you smoke a long cigarette, it will be in your interest to listen to a typical case history of a Fatima smoker.
It's the case of Lee Silver, general assignment reporter on one of New York's greatest newspapers. This is his actual signed statement.
When you have to meet a news deadline, you work at a fast pace, smoke at a fast pace. That's why I smoke Fatima. They're extra mild. In my opinion, it's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
And more smokers are discovering this every day. Actual figures show Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast.
So enjoy Fatima yourself.
The long cigarette, which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos, superbly blended to make it extra mild.
You will prefer Fatima's much different, much better flavor.
You will agree.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Saturday, April 29th. Last rites were held for Sergeant John Maxwell, and he was buried at Holy Cross Cemetery. A guard of honor from the police department was present, along with most of the men Maxwell had worked with in Bunko Fugitive Detail. The chief of detectives delivered a short eulogy, and then one of the men from the department band sounded taps over the grave. We got back to the office at noon, checked in at the record bureau. The photocopy room had taken negatives of Garvey's and Fleming's coming out mugs and made duplicates that were distributed to all officers. The stakeouts continued at the Fair Deal and the 14th Street Hotel, where Lorraine Thomas was staying. She was put under protective custody. Ben and I, Ricketts and Chandler, went on stakeout at the Three Kings Liquor Store on Wilshire Boulevard. It was a large, modern place that did a volume business, especially on Saturday night. Ricketts and Chandler covered the store from the outside. Ben and I were stationed in the supply room at the rear of the place, where we had the main counter and most of the store in full view. We set up a prearranged signal with the clerk on duty, and if and when Garvey and Fleming showed up, the clerk was to accidentally knock an empty bottle off the counter. We waited until midnight. Nothing happened.
The first customer in half an hour. It's kind of slow.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Here comes another one.
No sale. It's a woman.
The clerk sure got the jitters.
Well, I'll put in with him.
Oh, I could go for a hamburger.
What didn't you eat dinner?
I wasn't very hungry then.
Well, I got an almond bar. You want?
Yeah, thanks. Wait a minute. Another customer.
Yeah, man. Can't see his face too well with that hat on, can you?
That's Fleming. Come on. Police officers, get your hands up.
Watch it, Joe. You're hitting.
He's going out the front. Come on.
Ricketts and Chandler stopped him.
Yeah, he's down. Watch him. Get the gun.
Yeah. Yeah, here it is.
That's Fleming, all right. Ricketts, call an ambulance.
What's the score?
Well, looks like one in the shoulder and legs, too.
What about Garvey?
I don't know.
What do you think?
Fleming stopped all the slugs.
Yeah.
Let's ask him. The wounded suspect was treated at Georgia Street Receiving Hospital and then booked into the prison ward at the General Hospital. At 11 a.m. the next day, we questioned him, but he refused to admit that he even knew Alfred Garvey. We re-questioned Fleming for the next 3 days with no results. The stakeouts continued. The search went on. There was no response to our APB. Garvey was still at large. As far as we were concerned, there was only one way to get directly to Garvey, and that was through Fleming. We called on Lorraine Thomas again and asked her that if she'd try to get some information on Fleming, Try to get him to talk and to tell her where Garvey was.
I'm not even sure if he knows where Garvey's hiding.
He must have a good idea.
Even if he has, he's not going to tell me. He wouldn't trust me, that's why.
He'll go further with you than he will with us. He won't even give us his name.
I'm afraid it's up to you, Miss Thomas.
Why can't you let me out of this?
Look, figure it this way. You knew about Fleming and Garvey. You knew they were in town. You knew what they were up to. You didn't break your back to save that dead cop's life.
Garvey shot him. I did.
You knew he was a killer. You knew he had a gun.
What do you want me to do?
Get close to Fleming. Visit him every day till he talks.
He doesn't trust me, I told you.
Then get him to trust you, will you? Do favors for him. He wants to contact friends to raise money for a lawyer. Help him do that. Run errands. Do anything for him within reason.
Suppose he finds out about the holdup. That I told you about it.
He's got a long stretch ahead of him. He won't bother you.
They'll kill me if they find out. They wouldn't wait a minute.
They won't find out.
All right. Won't be my fault. Al did the shooting. He killed the cop. Let him square it up.
He'll square it with the court. There's only one trouble.
Yeah?
Maxwell's wife and kids. How does Al square it with them? On the morning of May 8th, suspect Jack Fleming was removed from his private room and wheeled down to the X-ray lab on the pretext of treatment. While he was absent, a dictaphone was placed in his room by a sound crew from the crime lab. Fleming was then returned. That afternoon, while Ben and I listened in on earphones in the next room, Lorraine Thomas paid her first visit to Fleming. We had briefed her on how to proceed in getting the suspect to talk, in particular, to reveal Garvey's hideout. It was a slow process. For the next 15 days, between the hours of 2 and 4 in the afternoon, Mrs. Thomas visited Fleming while Ben and I monitored their conversation in the adjoining room. For 15 days, despite all her shows of confidence, Fleming refused to confide. He was sullen and close-mouthed. Some afternoons, he would hardly speak to her. On the 16th day, his mood seemed to be improving.
Here. Let me fix that pillow for you, Jack. There. Is that better?
Yeah. That's good. Thanks.
I got in touch with Dave and Johnny like they asked me to.
Huh? What'd they say?
Well, they said they could get you the money for the lawyer the day after tomorrow. And Dave said he might be over to see you tonight.
Yeah. That's fine. Once I get a lawyer, I'll stop worrying.
I stopped by Danelli's place, too. Pop Royce wasn't there. I'm going back tomorrow to see him. He ought to be able to help.
You've been okay, Larry. I won't forget it.
Oh, that's what friends are for. Yeah, sure sorry you had to get it this way.
Forget it. I can give it back where it came from.
Say, I brought you some new magazines, a couple of candy bars.
Well, put them over here near the bed, will you?
Yeah, sure. Let me get them for you. There, Jack. Yeah, I'll put them right here on this table. I'll bring you some more tomorrow.
That's fine. You're going to try and see Pop Royce again tomorrow?
Yeah, they told me he'd be in around noon for sure. If I don't see him then, I'll keep trying till I do.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, listen. There's something else.
Sure, Jack.
Come here. I don't want to talk loud. The cops might have bugged this room.
Yeah. All right.
A little closer.
Okay.
Tonight, I want you to go to George's joint, the Blue Moon, down on South Flower.
Yeah?
And ask for George at the bar. He's usually around from 11 on.
Uh-huh.
Tell George you've seen me. He'll know it. Then tell him to take you to Al.
Take me to Al?
Yeah, Al Garvey. George knows the place.
Yeah. Okay, Jack.
And keep your mouth shut. Don't talk to anybody but George. He knows the place.
All right, Jack. He'll help you out.
Well?
Yeah.
It's a long wait.
Get paid. Let's go. 10:45 p.m. A detail of 3 cars followed Lorraine Thomas to the Blue Moon Tavern on South Flower Street. We parked down the block and watched her go in. At 15 minutes past 11, she came out with a small, fat man in a dark blue suit. They got in a tan-colored coupe and drove south. The cruiser cars, using 3-way radios, tailed the coupe alternately out through the Echo Park area and then back to the starting point at the Blue Moon Tavern. Lorraine Thomas went back into the bar with a man and 20 minutes later came out, caught a taxi, and took it to her hotel on 14th Street. We drove back to the office. It was 5 minutes past 1 a.m.
That's it?
I get it. Bunko Fugitive, Friday.
Lorraine Thomas, Sergeant. He showed me the place George did.
Where?
We drove past it. 1032 Alamo, apartment 3.
Garvey there now?
No. George said he's supposed to be there tomorrow in the afternoon, 5 o'clock. George said I'll have to go alone.
Are they watching the place?
I think so. Garvey's staying with another man. They got guns.
Do you know where Garvey is now?
George wouldn't tell me.
We can't afford to tip our hand. How do we know Garvey will be there at 5 o'clock tomorrow?
That's just it. We don't.
May 9th, 3 p.m. An immediate stakeout was placed at the suspected hideout. A detail of 20 plainclothesmen began filtering into the neighborhood in the vicinity of 1032 Alamo Street. The 3-story apartment house at that address was checked thoroughly and then covered on all sides. Apartment 3 on the first floor was checked out, too. It was registered to a Thomas King, whom the manager identified as Alfred Garvey from his mugshot. To avoid pedestrian casualties, we toured the immediate vicinity between 3 and 4:30 that afternoon, advising residents and storekeepers to clear the street and stay inside. At 4:35 p.m., the men in the detail took up their assigned positions. We waited.
Hold that light, will you?
Yeah.
Hey. Awful lot of trouble for that punk Garvey.
Be more trouble if he doesn't show.
No such luck. Can coupe coming down the street behind us.
Same one we tailed last night.
A girl driving. There's 2 guys with her.
Yeah, Garvey's one of them. They're pulling up.
Ready?
Now, wait a minute. All right, let's go. Police officers, hold it right there.
Hell, cops! Don't get out.
They're behind the car.
Throw him in, Garvey. You haven't got a chance.
Hell, break for the house!
All right, hold it, Ben.
That's it. Both of them.
Come on.
Both dead. Garvey and the other guy. Rotten case.
Rotten business.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On August 2nd, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 93, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
It's amazing how many long cigarette smokers are changing to Fatima. Here is the actual report.
From coast to coast, king-size Fatima has more than doubled its smokers.
Yes, more and more smokers every day are discovering that Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes.
Long cigarette smokers find Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Long cigarette smokers find that Fatima is extra mild because it's the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild.
So enjoy extra mild Fatima. Best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Jack Fleming, the only survivor of the hold-up gang, was found guilty of several counts of armed robbery. Garvey's accomplices who aided him in hiding out were tried and convicted of being accessories. They are serving prison terms as prescribed by law. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.A. Wharton, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet from Los Angeles.
The Halls of Ivy is pleasant listening tomorrow on NBC.
about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to homicide detail. For 2 months, a depraved criminal has been at work in your city. Men and women have been robbed, brutally attacked. Your job, get 'em.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke extra mild Fatima. Yes, Fatima is the king-size cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild, to give Fatima a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. Enjoy extra mild Fatima yourself. Best of all, long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, March 7th. It was cloudy in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of homicide. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. I was on the way home from the office, and it was 2:25 a.m. when I got to Collis Avenue, number 4656.
Joseph? Is that you?
Yeah, Ma. Did I wake you?
Well, what time is it?
A little after 2.
Oh, you can't keep this up. You've got to have your rest.
Don't worry, I'm okay. You got any cold meat in the icebox?
There's some pressed ham, a few slices of bologna. Didn't you have any dinner?
A couple of hamburgers and a piece of pie. I got hungry again.
Well, I had some nice beef stew for dinner. There's some left in the icebox. I'll come down and warm it for you.
No, all I want's a sandwich, Ma. You go on back to sleep.
You can't live on pie and sandwiches and keep up your strength. Working all hours, first thing you know, you'll be getting sick. You need your food and you need your rest. Nobody cares when you're sick.
You didn't have to get up, Ma. All I want's a sandwich. I can fix it.
You better have a bowl full of stew. Here, it'll take a minute to warm it up. Nice new potatoes in it. Some of those onions you like, too. White Bermudas.
Okay, not too much now. I'll get the milk.
It's 2:30 in the morning. What kept you so late again?
Another stakeout. The same job.
Is that the murder in Highland Park?
No, Ma, the badge bandit. The one that poses as a policeman.
Oh, that one. You certainly ought to do something about him.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to. I can't find him.
There was a piece in the paper about it tonight. They say it's just terrible the way he beats up people and robs them.
Yeah.
Badge bandit. The way he treats women ought to be a shame. They ought to put him away.
Yeah. You got some more rye bread?
Mm-hmm. Are you going to have tomorrow off, Joseph?
Thanks. No. The captain says we work straight through till we get the guy.
Oh. I thought you were going to have tomorrow off.
Mm.
Oh, you ought to tell the captain. You need your rest. You can't go on like this working all hours. You'll be coming down sick one of these days.
15 robberies, 15 assaults, all in 2 months. Somebody's got to stop them. You ready?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Well, can't they warn the people? They wouldn't be getting robbed and beaten up if they weren't parked in those lonely places. Spooning. So silly.
Yeah. I'm afraid we can't do anything about that, Ma. It's a public place. They got a right to park if they want.
Yeah, I suppose. Let me have your plate.
Okay, here. No, hold it. That's fine.
Another spoonful. You can't work if you don't eat.
Mm-hmm. It is good stew.
Yeah, sure it is. Butcher down at ShopRite's nice. His stewing beef's just wonderful.
Yeah.
Ben work late with you?
Yeah, his wife's sore, too. He hasn't been home much since we started on this. It's a tough one.
Oh, my. Well, times certainly have changed since I was a girl. All this robbing, beating up. Crazy people.
Well, any mail today?
No, just a couple of bills.
Will you set the alarm? I got to check back in at 8 in the morning.
8 o'clock? Why so early?
The badge bandit's got 2 more victims tonight. They're college kids. Doctor said he didn't think we should talk to them tonight, so we'll have to see them tomorrow morning at the hospital.
Were they badly injured?
Well, pretty bad. The boy took a terrible beating. The girl was attacked, same as the others.
My.
Well, it's very good, Ma. I better get to bed.
Yes, well, your face looks so thin. You need all the rest you can get.
I'll get it.
Now, who can that be? It's almost 3 in the morning.
Hello?
This is Lorman down Homicide, Joe. Sorry to bother you.
Yeah, Lorman. What is it?
Captain wants you and Romero to meet him at Hollywood and Laurel right away.
What's the matter now?
Attack and hold up in Laurel Canyon 20 minutes ago.
Yeah?
Got the area blocked off. Figure they got the man trapped.
The victims get a look at the guy?
Same description, the badge bandit.
I left the house, went over and picked up Ben. We drove out to the edge of the Santa Monica Mountains where Hollywood Boulevard ends and Laurel Canyon begins. We headed back into the canyon to the blockaded area. Captain Steed from Homicide was there waiting for us.
Hi, Skip. Hiya. Just a minute. Taylor, call communications again. Have them tell the men out on Ventura to start moving in.
Right, Captain.
Sorry to call you back. Couldn't be helped.
Okay. How's it shaping up?
Wait a minute.
Search detail in vicinity of Laurel Canyon. Unit 62K reports that they are at Mulholland Drive and Oakstone Avenue. Nothing further to report.
Okay, what did you say, Joe?
So how's it shaping up?
Well, here's a sketch of the area. Covers just about all the Laurel Canyon district.
Yeah?
Badge bandit got his victims near the top of this hill here. Old man in the neighborhood heard a woman scream and phoned in.
How sure are we the guy didn't get away?
Well, the man who called in said the bandit had trouble starting his car. Finally left it and took off into the brush. He was headed west down this road here.
Captain, I just had a call from communications. The crew from Leighton Prince are on their way.
All right. Any report from the detail up on Canyon Road?
Nothing yet. I'll stand by the radio.
Okay.
How much area we got to cover?
Well, from the mouth of the canyon here, all the way back to Ventura Boulevard. On the west here, from Lookout Mountain Avenue over to Crestview Drive on the east.
How much have we got to go on?
Crowley talked to the victims for a minute before they took them to Georgia Street.
Yeah?
The guy's description's the same. Heavy set, blonde hair, chubby face, horn-rimmed glasses.
Well, if he's on foot, there's plenty of underbrush around here to hide in.
Just a minute. I want to get this call in first. Taylor, have communications contact 72K. Tell them to hold their line stationary.
Yeah.
We'll have the others close in from the west and the north.
Right.
You two better get up on Groveland Drive. Line's pretty thin up there. Olson can use the help.
Is that the area where you've been in the car?
Yeah. I want you to cover all the houses in that area. Check with everybody you can find in the neighborhood. They may be able to help. If they don't answer, find out why.
Okay.
I'll be making the rounds in another 10 minutes. Check with you then.
All right, let's go,
Oh,
Joe.
one more thing.
Yes, sir?
I'll tell you what I told the rest of the men. This guy's in a corner, and he's got a gun. There's only one way out for him.
Yeah?
Make sure it's not you.
3:45 a.m. Ben and I drove up to Groveland Drive and joined the search. We started our house-to-house canvass of the neighborhood where the suspect had abandoned his car. None of the residents had any further information to give us. 4 a.m. We kept on checking.
23 hours. It's a long shift.
Yeah. I could use some sleep.
Wife of mine is boiling mad. She's even mad at the kid.
Yeah? What's the trouble?
Oh, aunt of hers sent down some flower bulbs from Oregon yesterday, gladiola bulbs.
Yeah?
Kid was playing with a little girl next door yesterday, and they found a box of flower bulbs. They put the mess of them in a pot of water and boiled them on the stove.
What'd they do that for?
Who knows?
There's another house up ahead. We better check it.
Yeah.
We ought to get some street lights up here.
Yeah. That's nice work, waking people up in the middle of the night.
Oh, I don't like it any more than they do.
Wish we could make them believe that. Nice neighborhood up here. Wonder what the price is on these lots.
Oh, it shouldn't be too high. They say real estate's coming down.
Yeah, what is it?
Police officers. Sorry to disturb you. We'd like to talk to you a minute.
Oh, all right. Let me get the door open. What's been going on in the neighborhood tonight? Some kind of trouble? Cars racing up and down the hill? What's the trouble?
Have you noticed any strangers in the neighborhood last hour?
No, I just got to bed 20 minutes ago. I work out at Paramount. We're shooting nights. What's all the commotion anyway?
We're looking for a suspect. He's supposed to be around this area.
Well, I haven't seen anybody. I thought I heard somebody out by the garage a few minutes ago. Went out and looked around, but I didn't see anything.
Did you check to see if your car is still in the garage?
No, I left it in the driveway.
No, sir. There's no car in your driveway.
Sure there is. Let me show you. Hey, it's gone.
Can we use your phone?
Yeah. Yeah, but I saw it just a few minutes ago. The car was right there in the driveway. You think that guy took my car?
Yes, sir. It's a pretty good bet. You got your license number handy there?
I don't remember it. I got it on a card in my wallet.
Give me communication.
Can you give us a description of your car?
It's a Plymouth sedan, black, two-door sedan with...
Search detail, Laurel Canyon. I got some new information for all units in the detail.
Here's the license number.
Oh, thanks. Will you broadcast this information to all units in the search detail?
What was the make and model of your car?
46 black Plymouth, a two-door sedan.
1946 black Plymouth, two-door sedan, license number, let me see. 7 X-ray 2569. This car's just been stolen from 10211 Groveland Drive.
Any identifying marks on the car?
Well, I left my keys in it.
No, sir. I mean, any special markings on the car? Maybe a dent in one of the fenders?
Well,
Yes, George, hold on, we're getting it.
The right headlight went out on me last night. I haven't had it fixed yet.
The right headlight on the car is out. Notify all units in the search detail that we believe suspect is now in possession of this car. Right, thank you.
Let's go.
Must have happened in the last 15 minutes. I heard that noise and I went out to check. The car was there then.
Well, here's our card. We'll be checking with you later.
Yeah, I sure hope you find it. I don't know how I can get to work tomorrow without my car.
Yeah, we'll notify you.
Yeah, gee, I sure hope you find it.
Thanks for your help. Come on, Ben.
X-ray 2569. Repeat, 7 X-ray 2569. Car has just been stolen from 10211 Groveland Drive. The right headlight is out.
Oh, we got it.
Believed suspect is now in possession of this car. KMA 367.
I don't think he could have gotten that car through the blockade yet, you? Better start searching the side roads, huh?
Yeah. There's one, leading off to the left, up ahead.
Okay, let's try it. Wait a minute. There's a car coming down the hill toward us.
Joe is making time. Joe, only one headlight on the car.
Coming right at us. Turn around, quick. There's no room. Get over to the inside.
I can't. It's too late.
Ben, turn.
Hang on. We're going over.
Attention all units. Special attention all units in search detail vicinity of Laurel Canyon. 80K report theft
Ben?
of a 1946
You all right?
Plymouth two-door sedan.
Ben.
License in the far column.
An ambulance was called, and Ben and I were taken to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital. There I received emergency treatment for multiple cuts and bruises and a sprained left shoulder. Ben didn't do so well. He had a possible concussion, 2 broken ribs, and a half a dozen severe cuts about the face and arms. We were then taken to the P&F ward. The next afternoon, we had a visit from Captain Steed and Chief of Detectives Thad Brown.
Friday, how you feeling?
Oh, pretty good, Chief.
I saw Romero across the hall. You came out better than he did.
Yeah, that's what I hear. You resting any?
Oh, much better. No danger involved. Needs rest, that's about all.
How long?
Oh, he'll be here 2 weeks, according to the doctor. What about you?
A couple of days.
Too bad, Joe.
Badge bandit?
Yeah. Looks like you two got banged up for nothing.
Oh?
After he rammed your car, he ditched the black Plymouth, and then we figure he hit with the underbrush.
Yeah?
Somehow, while we were hauling you and Ben out of that wreck, he slipped through the line.
Any fingerprints on the car?
None we could use.
It's rotten luck. I guess it was his night, huh?
We're getting more men from Metro Division to help out.
Mm-hmm.
And we're doubling the number of decoys around the city.
Policewomen, huh?
And we'll have each of them planted in a parked car along with an officer in every area the badge bandit's been working. All he has to do is grab at the bait once.
Yeah, if he goes for it.
He'll have plenty of time to choose. We work the same setup every night till we reach him.
It's a big operation. Might have to run it for a week, unless he quits.
Well, there's only one way a guy like that ever quits.
Yeah.
When we stop him.
Saturday, March 10th, 2 p.m. I was released from the P&F ward and went home. Ben stayed on at the hospital. He had at least another 10 days to go before release. Sunday, I spent at home. Monday afternoon, I checked back in at the office, and Captain Steed put me on decoy duty for that week, along with policewoman Dorothy River. We were assigned to cover an isolated parking area near Mulholland Drive and Beverly Glen. It was a nice view, but the duty was slow. No sign of the badge bandit. Policewoman River and I waited it out from late evening to early morning, from Monday through Thursday. Friday night came. Same thing. We waited.
How's Ben? You see him today?
Yeah, he's doing fine. Be out next week.
Grouchy, I guess.
Oh, sure.
You want a cigarette?
Thank you.
You can sure tell it's Friday night.
Yeah.
Thanks. College kids are out in force.
Mm-hmm. What time you got?
1:45. Long nights.
Yeah, slow.
You cold?
No, are you?
Just a little. It's chilly up here in the early morning. What's that?
Car full of kids just pulling out.
Are the cars gone too?
Yeah. We're the only ones left.
These stakeouts get on your nerves.
So look, if you're cold, you can have my coat. It doesn't bother me.
No, it's all right, Joe. Thanks. It's a beautiful view from up here, isn't it? All the lights.
Yeah.
You like to dance, Joe?
What?
I said, do you like to dance?
Oh, once in a while, I guess. I'm not too good. Why?
Well, our club's having its big annual dance 2 weeks from Saturday.
Yeah.
Might get a kick out of it. It's formal.
Well, it leaves me out. I don't own a tux.
You could rent one. It'd be fun.
Nah, afraid I don't look good in a tux.
I never met a man who thought he did. Why don't you try it?
I might be working.
Well, I mean, if you're not working, why don't you come?
You going?
Well, I was planning on it.
Got a date?
No, not yet. I have hopes.
There's a car pulling in. See? Yeah, parked over in back of us.
I can only make out one person in the car.
Yeah, looks like a man. I can't be sure. All right, come on over closer. We might as well look the part, huh?
All right.
He's getting out of the car.
You coming this way?
Walking over to the side of the road. He's got a flashlight. Looking around.
He's built like the badge bandit. Short, heavy set.
Yeah, he's turning around. He's got his flashlight on us.
He's coming up on your side of the car.
All right, take it easy. You know what to do.
Come on out of that car, police officer.
All right, hold on.
Got a gun, Joe.
Yeah.
Come on, I said out of the car, both of you.
All right. All right, drop the gun. Drop it.
That's him.
Yeah.
Now I'll get the cuffs on him.
Thanks. I didn't think I hit him that hard.
You didn't, I did.
Policewoman Dorothy River and I took the suspect to Hollywood Division, where he was booked on suspicion of robbery. He gave his name as Charles Leon Kirby, age 46. Monday, March 19th, Ben was released from the hospital and checked back in for work. A special show-up was held at which 10 of the 17 victims definitely identified Kirby as the badge bandit. The suspect had finally been apprehended. Now we started the slow process of formally charging the man and presenting our evidence against him to bring him to trial. 10 a.m., Ben and I went across the street to the 6th floor of the Hall of Justice to present our case against Kirby and to obtain a formal complaint against him. We met with Deputy District Attorney Broker.
When did you get out of the hospital, Ben?
This morning. Sure got sick of that place.
Heard about your accident. That guy sure gave you enough trouble, didn't he?
Yeah, he's still giving us trouble.
How's that?
He got in a tangle with another prisoner out in the Hollywood Division.
Yeah?
The other prisoner gave Kirby a pretty bad going over. Cut him up and broke his left forearm. They're moving him in an ambulance from Hollywood to the prison ward at the General Hospital.
When did this happen?
Well, just this morning. I think they're moving him downtown now.
Tough one. Now, how about your reports on Kirby? Are they all in order?
Well, here's a summary report. Alleges 10 positive identifications containing 10 counts for robbery and 10 counts of forcible rape.
All right.
And here are 7 other crime reports. Only partial identification on these.
Okay. What have you got for corroborating evidence against him?
Oh, we went through Kirby's apartment. Found at least a dozen pieces of property that he took from his victims. Mostly watches and jewelry. The victims identified every piece we found.
Okay, let me get the details down here. No. Excuse me a minute.
Sure.
Broker speaking. Yes, a minute.
You, Friday.
Thank you. Friday. When? Yeah, right away. Well, that does it.
What's the matter?
Kirby. He just broke out of that ambulance.
You are listening to Dragnet, the case history of a police investigation presented in the public interest by Fatima Cigarettes.
If you smoke a long cigarette, it will be in your interest to listen to a typical case history of a Fatima smoker.
It's the case of Mr. Richard Watts, Jr., drama critic of one of New York's great newspapers. This is his actual signed statement.
My working day starts when most people are going to bed. When the curtain closes on the last act, I've got a newspaper deadline to make. Working more means smoking more. And that's when Fatima quality really tells. I agree. It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
And so do more and more smokers every day. Actual figures show extra mild Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast.
So enjoy extra mild Fatima yourself.
The king-size cigarette, which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos, superbly blended to make it extra mild.
You will prefer Fatima's much different, much better flavor.
You will agree.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
The best of all long cigarettes.
As soon as word of Kirby's escape came through, the information was broadcast to all points. All available cruiser cars and men were rushed to the escape area, and a door-to-door canvass got underway. All of the men were given mug shots of Kirby together with his description. 11 a.m., Ben and I got back to the office. We found a message from Captain Steed to meet him in the chief of detective's office.
No man in that area until further notice. Check the bus depots and the Union Station. Right.
What's the story, Chief?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Where do you make the break?
Near 4th and Main. Couldn't have picked a better spot. The ambulance had just crossed 3rd and Main when Kirby slugged the guard. The driver was too busy dodging traffic to notice what was going on in back.
That's a lousy break.
Kirby jumped out of the back end of the ambulance and disappeared in the crowd. No sign of him since.
Well, that's fine. Takes us almost 3 months to reach the guy, and he breaks away on a cheap fluke like that.
Well, he doesn't have many friends in town. He's only got one we know of.
Yeah.
A brother. Kirby stays with him pretty often, from what we could gather. His brother lives in a rooming house down on Alameda.
Anybody checked that yet?
We've got it staked out. The brother works at a box factory in the south end of town. That's covered, too.
And he's not going far with a broken arm.
What have you got?
Pawn shop hold up 6th Street happened a few minutes ago.
Yeah?
Here's the description of the hold up, man.
Stocky build, blonde hair, horn-rimmed glasses, chubby face.
You were wrong about that broken arm. Come on. 11:20 a.m. Ben and I pulled up at the East Asia pawn shop on 6th Street. Inside, we found the proprietor, Morris Brubaker, lying propped up against one of the showcases. He was an elderly man, and his face and head showed the marks of a savage beating. His wounds were hemorrhaging badly, and ambulance attendants were giving him first aid. We showed him Charles Kirby's mugshot.
That's the man. I wouldn't make a mistake. That's him.
Was he alone, Mr. Brubaker?
Yes, by himself. He had to look at a watch, and when I turned to get it, he kicked me. I fell against the showcase and cut myself. He pulled me in the back room. I didn't even know him. He kept beating me.
Easy, Mr. Brubaker. Let me get this compass on.
How much did he get away with, do you know?
I'm not sure. A blue suit, blue overcoat, wraparound, and navy blue both. He kept hitting me.
I should just take it easy. They'll have you out of here in a minute.
He kept hitting me like a crazy man.
This is antiseptic. Might sting a little. Okay.
What else did he take, Mr. Brubaker? Can you remember?
Yes, from the cash register, he took money.
How much?
$13, $40. I can't be sure.
When he left your store, did you see which way he was going?
No, he dragged me in the back room. He locked me in.
Ready to move now, Sergeant?
Okay.
I don't know. I saw him going through the shelves there in the back of the counter. I don't know.
What'd you keep there?
My account books and my gun, a box of shells, too.
You want to take a look, Ben?
Well,
my head.
Yes, sir. Just take it easy. It's only going to be a minute now.
the account books are still there.
Yeah?
He got the gun.
4 p.m. Kirby, alias the Badge Bandit, was still at large. As far as we were concerned, the case was almost back to where it started from 11 weeks before. The suspect was still loose. He was well armed. He was still free to rob, assault, or murder. We had two big advantages. Kirby's possible broken arm, which would need medical attention, and secondly, the lead to Kirby's brother. At 5:30 p.m., we had a report that the suspect was seen purchasing a ticket at a theater box office out on Hollywood Boulevard. We ran it down. It didn't pay off. At 6:15, a taxi driver thought he spotted Kirby boarding an outbound streetcar at Figaro and Pico. Was checked out. No results. At 7 o'clock, Ben and I got something to eat at a drive-in, and we relieved the men on stakeout at the rooming house on Alameda Street where Kirby's brother was staying. 10 p.m. Midnight. No sign of Kirby. We waited. At 3 a.m., Hanson and Cummings of Homicide relieved us, and Ben drove me home. It was 3:45 when he dropped me off at Collis Avenue, number 4656.
Joseph, that you?
Yeah, Ma, I didn't mean to wake you.
Well, what time is it?
Almost 4.
Oh, my. These late hours, you've got to get your rest, Joseph.
We'll be all right, Ma. Got something to eat in the icebox?
There's a little cold meat and some cheese in the cupboard.
Just want a sandwich. You going back to sleep?
I had some nice meatballs and spaghetti for dinner. I can warm some for you. My, time standing working all hours. You just get sick, Joseph, and you'll see nobody cares about you when you're sick.
I wish you wouldn't get up, Ma. I can fix something.
Well, warm up the meatballs and spaghetti. You need something substantial.
I get it.
4 a.m. I hope it's not that office calling you again.
Hello?
Lorman down homicide.
Yeah, Lorman.
Thought you'd like to know they just got Kirby.
Where?
At his brother's place about 15 minutes ago. Hanson and Cummings grabbed him.
Any trouble?
No, grabbed him before he got to his gun. We just locked him up. Thought you'd like to know.
Yeah. Thanks, Lorman.
Night.
All right.
Well, that was it, Joseph.
The office, Ma. They got Kirby, the badge bandit.
Oh, did they? Well, that's nice. Maybe you'll have some time off now.
Yeah. Never fails, does it? You work on a case for 3 months. Leave it for 30 minutes and it's all over.
Well, the food's warm. Is there anything else you want?
No, that's fine, Ma. You go on to bed.
Yeah. Well, all right, Joseph. Now, don't stay up too long.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Hey, Ma.
Yes, Joseph?
Have I still got that old tuxedo around?
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On June 27th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 87, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
It's amazing how many long cigarette smokers are changing to extra mild Fatima. Here is the actual report.
From coast to coast, Extra Mild Fatima has more than doubled its smokers.
Yes, more and more smokers every day are discovering that Fatima is the king-size cigarette that is extra mild.
Extra mild because it contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild, to give it a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Enjoy extra mild Fatima yourself, the best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Charles Leon Kirby, alias the Badge Bandit, was tried and convicted in Superior Court on several counts of armed robbery, rape, and assault with intent to commit murder. He was sentenced to life imprisonment. After serving 1 year in the state penitentiary, he was judged insane and committed to the state mental hospital at Mendocino. After 2 months there, he escaped. Charles Kirby, alias the Badge Bandit, is still at large. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.A. Wharton.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to robbery detail. Vicious gunmen have committed assaults, robberies, attempted murders. Their victims, Army officers stationed in your city. Your job, get them.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke king-size Fatima. Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild. And that's why Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. So, enjoy Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild. Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles Police Department, you will travel step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Wednesday, February 3rd. It was cold in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of robbery detail. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Thad Brown, chief of detectives. My name's Friday. It was 1:45 a.m. when we got to Highland Park Division. Booking desk. Hi, Shepard.
Oh, hi, Friday, Ben.
Hi.
Brings you out here.
We've got one to book, Shep. You want to do the honor?
Okay. Just a minute. I want to sharpen this pencil.
Right.
All right, Jackson. Take it easy.
Yeah.
Relax, huh?
Jerks. Okay. Now, let me get a new form in the machine. All right, what's your name?
Roy Jackson.
Address?
414 Alabama Street.
Age?
23.
Location of arrest?
1730 West Hill, the old Ranger Tavern.
Ranger Tavern. Time of arrest?
11:25 p.m.
Charge?
Suspicion 211 PC.
PC.
Come on, let's get this over with.
Hey, you got lots of time. Let's check your property.
All right, Jackson, everything out of your pockets. Put them on the desk.
What about my kids?
You won't need them for a while. Put them on the desk.
There. Oh, you forgot your watch. Take it off.
All right.
That ring, too.
Yeah.
That everything?
I'll shake him down. Yeah, that's everything.
Okay, let me list it here. 1 brown man's wallet, contents.
I'll call them off to you, huh?
Okay.
1 black pocket comb.
Pocket comb.
You got that? 1 keychain and ring with 5 keys. Good luck charm on it.
5 keys. Good luck charm, yeah.
Let's see, is $11.63 in cash.
11.63.
1 man's wristwatch, Waltham. 1 man's ring. You got that?
Yeah.
Yellow metal, the ring.
Ring.
And the white stone.
It's a diamond ring. That's gold.
1 man's fountain pen.
Fountain pen.
That's it.
Yeah, okay. Just put all the stuff in the envelope. Okay. Get me a booking number, will you, Jimmy? Here's a receipt for your stuff, Jackson. Itemized.
Yeah.
And here's your copy, fellas.
Thank you, Shep.
Murdoch,
Yes, Sergeant?
got one for you.
You got a slip on?
Yeah, here.
Thanks.
Let's go.
Wait just a minute. You got nothing else to say, huh, Jackson?
Been yapping at me for 2 hours. I told you all I'm going to tell you.
6 robberies, 6 assaults, 3 attempted murders. It's a tough rap to stand alone. What about your pals?
You got my story.
Okay, take them.
Oh. Stubborn.
Yeah.
We better get the arrest on the teletype.
All right. What? 2 a.m. It's a long day.
It's Fat Brown coming in the door.
Yeah.
All right, Chief.
Hi.
What are you doing out here this time of the morning?
On my way home, but I dropped by and called the office. Forgot something. About Jackson. Do any good?
Not much. He's got a story. He's sticking to it.
Where'd you pick him up?
Bar on Hill Street. We booked him here. It's out of the way.
Jackson finger any of the gang?
No, questioned him 2 hours.
You did got a smoke? No.
Yeah. Here you go.
Well, let's go in this office. Sit down a minute.
It's a good idea. My feet are killing me.
Pretty hard to figure this thing.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks. Gang of cheap hoods, armed with the teeth, slugging, shooting their way around town, coming from all directions.
We got it fairly well narrowed down, and 9 out of the 10 jobs they pulled, they operated either in San Pedro, the central area, or Hollenbeck. Still haven't any idea why they pick Army officers for their victims. Jackson wouldn't tell us why.
They're most still the same? They haven't switched?
Not a bit. The hold-up men still dress as Army enlisted men. They steal a car, offer rights to officers, slug them, rob them, then shoot them. Same thing, 10 times over.
Has the Army checked their personnel out at the fort?
Keeping tabs on as close as possible. I don't think it's the work of any bona fide enlisted men, though.
Well, we'll haul out Jackson and talk to him again in the morning. Maybe he'll be ready to tell us something by then.
I'll stay after him. If you need any more men from Metropolitan to help out on this thing, let me know.
Okay, Skipper.
You better make that call and get home. Late.
Yeah.
Attention, all units, code 3.
What was it, code 3, Chef?
31st and Stafford, 211 and shooting.
Chief Brown, Ben, and I got to the scene at 2:20 a.m. An ambulance was already there, along with 2 cruiser cars and a half a dozen curious onlookers. Lying face down on the dirt road about 15 feet off Stanford Avenue was a man dressed in an Army officer's uniform. He wore first lieutenant bars. His blouse had been half ripped off, and the side of his face was bruised and swollen. The back of his head showed the results of a vicious beating. There were 2 bullet wounds in his left shoulder. A few feet away, sprawled out on his back, was a major. He'd been brutally beaten, but he was still conscious. While the ambulance attendants gave first aid, we questioned him briefly. Both bodies were lying 30 feet from the interurban railway tracks.
Feel up to telling us how it happened?
Hit me on the off. The gun. Can't talk too well. No, don't try to get up, Major. How's Lieutenant Kelly? He was with me.
He'll be okay. They're getting him in the ambulance.
We were hitchhiking downtown, Kelly and me. 2 men in a gray sedan picked us up. Said they were going back to the fort.
How were the men dressed? Do you remember?
Too much noise. What was that?
The PE train going by. Now, can you tell us about it?
Enlisted men. One is a tech sergeant, another private. He said they'd drive us back to the fort in a gray sedan, Pontiac.
Excuse me, Sergeant.
Oh, sure.
I'll have to take care of those face wounds. You can go ahead. Okay. Did you see the license number on their car?
Too dark, no. Gray sedan. Pulled guns, stopped the car here. Took our money, everything.
This'll sting a little.
Yeah, it's good. You think you'd recognize the men if you saw them again? One was tall, 6'2", I guess. Think I know. They shot Kelly. He tried to run. They shot him. How is he?
He's okay. Is there anything else you can tell us about the men?
Ambulance is ready.
I'll take him. We can talk to him later.
All right, Ron. Yeah. All right, easy. Okay, let's go. It's not getting any better.
I'd sure like to cut him up, don't they?
Pretty good set of footprints over there. Tire impressions. Better call the crime lab.
Yeah.
2 men in a gray sedan. How does that match up?
Same MO, Army officers.
But one of the gunmen was tall. Mean anything to you?
Well, most of the other victims gave us that description. Either the same tall guy works most of the jobs, or he's got a twin brother.
The stats office make a run on the description for you?
4 different times. Nothing yet.
I better get this new information on the air right away.
Yeah.
They steal a different car for every job, and the morning after we find the car, usually clean, no prints.
This thing doesn't add up in my book. Army officers aren't loaded with... I said Army officers aren't loaded with dough. These punks are after something else besides money.
What do you mean?
Well, for every dollar they steal, they break a bone. How does that shape up to you?
You think they like to draw blood?
I think so. I think they're pointing for murder.
What's the motive, Chief?
Oh, forget the motives. I don't care what their reason is. Somebody's robbing and shooting. It's our job to stop them. That's the trouble with motives.
How do you mean?
They always show up after the murder.
2:40 a.m. The crime lab crew arrived and went to work searching the area for evidence and taking casts of the footprints and tire impressions. The chief of detectives, Ben, and I drove back to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital in time to watch the doctor remove 2 .38 caliber slugs from the shoulder of one of the victims. From his ID bracelet, he was identified as Harold Kelly, 1st Lieutenant Signal Corps, U.S. Army. The other victim was Major Richard Farmer, Signal Corps. I initialed the slugs for evidence, and then we drove back to the crime lab and dropped them off. The next morning, before they were transferred to a military hospital for further treatment, we talked with Lieutenant Kelly and Major Farmer and filled out a robbery report and one for a crime against person. At 5 minutes past 10, we checked back into robbery detail.
Better see if we can get a stenographer in here. There's a lot of paperwork to catch up on.
Yeah, I'm going to have to learn short.
Mel, Joe?
Yeah, Ed?
Come in a minute, will you?
Right.
I picked up a gray sedan using that job last night.
Where?
Out on Laguna, about a block from Echo Park.
They find anything?
Nothing. The boys from Leighton Fingerprints called just before you came in. They dusted the car inside out. No luck.
That Roy Jackson we picked up last night. Has homicide got the stakeout on his apartment?
Yeah. Fremont and Tetrick. Nothing yet. What'd you find out at the hospital this morning?
Well, we talked to Lieutenant Kelly and that Major Farmer again. Oh, they're still in bad shape.
You have anything to add?
No. We got their crime reports and a list of the property taken, gave it to the pawn shop detail to put on the stolen property list.
What are the hold-up men doing with all the stuff they grabbed? Watches, cigarette cases, men's jewelry? It's all on the stolen property list. Pawn shops have been alerted. It's not showing up. Robbery, Walker. Yeah, just a minute. You, Joe.
Oh, thank you. Friday. Kelly. Yeah. We'll meet it. Bye. Lee Jones. He just ran a make on the 2 slugs they took out of the lieutenant's shoulder.
Yeah?
They came from the same gun that wounded 4 of the other victims.
Figures. How about the footprint casts they took out there last night?
No, it didn't work out. Lee said he tried matching them up with that set of prints we came across on that job Sunday. There's no match.
All right, G.
Bad. Sit down.
Thanks. You fill them in yet, Walker?
Not yet. Just going over last night's case.
What do you got?
Walker and I were talking over this morning before you 2 checked in about these hitchhike bandit jobs.
Yeah.
We tried everything short of a blockade to grab the hold-up men. It's obvious it's not working.
How about the Army brass?
They're doing all they can already. It's up to us. We're going to need more men and better coverage.
What are you figuring on?
System decoys planted around the city and every area these hitchhike bandits have been operating in.
Doesn't take a lot of men, isn't it?
Be worth it if it pays off.
About 50 or 60 men should do it. They'll be dressed as second lieutenants all the way up to colonels. They'll travel in pairs.
They're going to bunk out at the fort?
If we can arrange it, yeah.
They'll be instructed to hitchhike their way around town. Bulk of them will operate between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m.
What kind of support they going to have?
You men in robbery and homicide. I'll have a special detail of cars from Metropolitan Unit to help cover the unprotected spots.
When does it start?
Tonight. No use waiting.
You fellas might as well pass the word down the line. No time off till the gang's locked up.
Okay.
We got to get those punks and get them fast. We got the men and the machinery, so there's no reason for not stopping them. No excuses. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me.
Robbery, Walker. Oh, hello, dear.
Yeah, I know, but I can't make you that.
Let's go, Joe.
We'll have to. You just go right ahead, and we'll have to explain things, I guess.
Here.
What's that?
A nickel. Call yours. 8 p.m., Thursday. With the permission of the commanding general, 6th Army, a total of 55 men dressed as Army officers spread out over the city to serve as decoys for the hitchhike bandits. They were well armed, and they traveled in pairs. For the first night, it was the plan to concentrate in the central area, Hollenbeck and San Pedro. We started cruising the central area at 8 o'clock along with the rest of the detail. The time went slow. Midnight came. Still no sign. We waited out the rest of the night and the early morning. Nothing happened. We figured on some action on the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, nothing happened. Seemed like the hold-up men somehow had sensed the decoys and were staying under cover. Monday night, February the 8th, same thing all over again. 3 a.m. came and went. No sign. I'm kind of hungry. You want a hot dog? We can eat them in the car.
No, you go ahead. Maybe a bag of potato chips. You want to see if they got them?
Okay. I'll be right back.
Yes, sir. Want a hot dog?
One. And give me a bag of those potato chips there, too. Would you please?
Okay. You want everything on that hot dog?
Everything but relish.
What's the matter? You don't like relish?
No.
Okay.
Joe, come on. Hustle.
You can skip that hot dog, Mac. What is it?
Just came in. Catch 3-3.
Attention all units. Attention all units. The vicinity of Washington, Figueroa. A shooting occurring and an dispatch.
Okay, hit the siren. Let's move. When we got to the scene, neither of the two victims were identified as police decoys. One of them had already been placed in the ambulance. Ben went over to talk to him. The second victim was still lying in the street, his chest riddled with bullet wounds. Two figures bent over him, an ambulance attendant and a priest.
That heavenly Jerusalem where God shall wipe away the tears from your eyes, where there shall be no more sorrow, no more sickness, no more death, where you will live forever in possession of that happiness which the eye hath not seen nor the ear hath heard. Neither hath it entered into the heart of man what things God hath prepared for them that love him.
Same set up, Joe. Hitchhike, yeah. The victim can't help us much. How about this man?
Oh, wait a minute.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Ghost. Amen.
There's your answer.
You are listening to Dragnet, the case history of a police investigation presented in the public interest by Fatima Cigarettes.
If you smoke a long cigarette, it will be in your interest to listen to a typical case history of a Fatima smoker.
It's the case of Miss Shirley Gelman, trained nurse in the city of Los Angeles, California, and this is her actual signed statement.
Hospitals are short-handed these days, and nurses are working under pressure. I found king-size Fatima just perfect when I'm off duty. They're extra mild, and even in the wee hours of the morning, Fatima tastes just fine. I urge all my friends to buy them. I agree, it's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
And more smokers are discovering this every day. Actual figures show Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast.
So enjoy Fatima yourself.
The long cigarette, which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos, superbly blended to make it extra mild.
You will prefer Fatima's much different, much better flavor.
You will agree.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
The best of all long cigarettes.
Wednesday, February 10th. At the inquest, the murder victim was identified as Marine Corps Lieutenant Robert Paul Lawrence, age 24. The bullets removed from the body at autopsy were taken to the crime lab where the ballistics men ran them through. They were fired from the same gun used in the previous hold-up shootings by the hitchhike bandits. The companion of the victim at the time of his murder could add little to what we already knew as far as the descriptions of the gunmen were concerned. The following morning, Ben and I drove out to the home of the murdered man to interview his father, a colonel, Marine Corps, retired.
Black wreath on the door.
Yeah. It's a big house, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir?
Police officer says this is Sergeant Friday. I'm Sergeant Romero.
Oh, yes. I saw you the other day at the inquest.
Yes, sir. We hate to bother you again, but we'd like to ask you a few questions.
Yes. All right. Will you step in?
Thank you.
This way.
He was a small man, well-built, with thick snow-white hair combed straight back and a neat white mustache well-trimmed. He walked deliberately with his shoulders thrown back as he showed us into a large living room richly furnished. A picture of the Battle of Belleau Woods hung over the large fireplace. The rest of the pictures in the room were of famous Marine Corps officers.
Now, gentlemen, how can I help you?
It's about your son, Robert. We didn't want to bother you at the inquest.
Yes. I guess I don't have to tell you. Bob's death was a blow.
Yes, sir.
He's been staying here with me from time to time since my wife died last year. How's this big neat people? Just myself, the wife gone?
Yes, sir. We'll only take a minute. You see, everything had been taken from your son, and we'd like to find out if you know what personal property he was carrying at the time he was...
Well, I don't know. I guess he had the usual things, a few dollars, his wallet, St. Christopher medal, silver, his watch.
Was the St. Christopher medal valuable?
Oh, not too much, no, not monetarily.
And that watch?
Well, yes, that was worth something, a pocket watch. I gave it to Robert when he was commissioned at Quantico. That's his graduation picture on the mantel. Here. This is Robert.
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Fine boy, Sergeant. Robert was a good Marine.
You think you could describe the watch for us?
Gold pocket watch. Cost quite a bit when I bought it for him. There's some engraving on the inside of the cover.
What is it?
Says, from an old Marine to a young one. Signed Dan.
Mm-hmm. Anything else about it, sir?
Very fine jeweler friend of mine made the watch. It has small chimes inside, and when you push the lever on the side, it chimes the hour and nearest quarter hour. Very clever.
Yes, sir, I see. And as far as you know, then, those are all the valuables he had with him.
Yes.
All right, Colonel Lawrence. Thanks very much.
Oh, you don't have to rush off. Can I fix you a cup of coffee? Stay a while, won't you?
I'm sorry, Colonel. We have to get back to the office.
Oh. Well, let me show you to the door. I hope I've been of some help to you. You're not feeling so well.
It helped a lot, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Nice home. Yeah. Beautiful furniture. Everything a man could want, except the sun. For the next 6 days, we got nowhere. Both robbery and homicide details stayed at work on the case. The citywide decoy plan continued along with the extra night patrol of cruiser cars from the Metropolitan Division. Dozens of leads were received and tracked down. None of them paid off. We stayed on it, but despite all our work, in 1 week, the hitchhike bandits were credited with 16 car thefts, 8 actual holdups, and 3 more assaults with intent to commit murder. February 18th, 2 p.m. Ben and I were called to Captain Walker's office.
Close the door, will you, Ben?
Oh, yeah. What is it, Ed?
Both of you know Burdick here, theft detail?
Oh, yeah. Sure. I am.
You want to tell him what you just told me, Burdick?
Yeah, I was just telling the captain. I was on night watch last night with Bresnik, and we picked up this guy for grand theft auto. Got him out in the bowling alley on Vermont.
Yeah.
Well, Bresnik and I didn't think too much about it. We took him into Central and had him booked. Gave his name as Clyde Black.
Mm-hmm.
As I say, I didn't think too much about it. But on the way into work, I got to thinking. This fellow comes pretty close to the description of one of your hitchhike bandits.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's pretty tall, 6'2", dark hair, dark eyes. Pretty tough.
Is he still in jail?
Still there.
Anybody else talk to him besides you?
Resnick and me, that's all. Here's the mug shot we got on him last night. Take a look.
Let me see. Mm-hmm. It seems pretty close. You got a home address on him?
Yeah, our place out on South Flower. Here's the number.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah, there was something else. Struck me kind of funny.
What's that?
When we booked the guy in last night,
Yeah.
in his back pocket, he had a St. Christopher medal.
Ben, Ed, Burdick, and I drove out to the address on South Flower Street, which the prisoner, Clyde Black, had listed as his home address. It was a rooming house, and the landlord remembered Black, but he hadn't lived there for 2 months. He gave us Black's forwarding address, an apartment on MacArthur Drive. There, the manager told us he hadn't lived in the building for at least a month. He had moved and left no forwarding address. We put tracers through on him with DMV, our business office, and with local merchants in the neighborhoods where he had lived. By 6:30 p.m., we had an answer. An apartment on Pico Boulevard, just east of Alvarado. At 7 o'clock, we were on our way up in the elevator to the 3rd floor of the apartment house. Number 307. Must be down this way. Come on.
Pretty run-down place. Musty.
Yeah. This is it, 307.
Somebody's in there. The apartments have back doors, Joe. You want me to cover it?
Yeah, you better hustle.
Right. Okay. Stop talking.
Yeah, what is it?
Mailman, registered letter.
Okay.
Give me. Police officers.
Move your guys' cops up, Joe.
They're going out the back, Ben. Watch it.
Verdict's got him stopped out back.
All right, you now cut it.
Let me go. You.
That's one of them.
One more, Joe, here. There were three.
All right, let's go inside. Come on.
Yeah. That's all of them. Watch them, will you, Bertie?
Yeah.
All right, let's look around, huh?
Yeah. Take a look.
Yeah, enough uniforms for an army. Before we left the apartment, we searched it thoroughly and found dozens of personal valuables, watches, rings, and wallets. There was also a .38 caliber Colt. We took the three men downtown and booked them at Central Jail. And we dropped off the gun that we found at the crime lab for a ballistics test. 8:35 p.m. We brought suspect Clyde Black to the interrogation room. Captain Walker, Ben, and I confronted him with the evidence.
Here you are, Black. Take a look at these. Well, they're not mine.
We know that.
Never saw them before. Watches, jewelry, wallets, they were found in your apartment, all of them. They weren't.
Take a close look.
Auto theft, that's all you got me on.
Yeah.
I won them. I won the stuff in the crap game. You must be lucky. Crap game, I tell you. That's how I got it, in the crap game.
Why not do it easy, Black? Let's call a stenographer and get it over with.
How much evidence do you want? I didn't do it.
I get it. Interrogation room Friday. Yeah. All of them? Fine. Thank you. The gun, Black, they checked it.
I didn't do it.
Your gun killed that Marine. Your prints are all over it.
It was one of the other guys, Max. Max, it was him. Him and Johnny. You ready to dictate a statement? Put them on the file. Why me? You talk to Max. Talk to Johnny.
Ed, hand me that, will you?
Yeah. Here.
Thanks. We got this watch out of your apartment, too, Black. Where'd you get this?
Which?
This one right here, the pocket watch.
I don't know.
Don't tell us you won it in the crap game.
Not mine. I never saw it before.
Beautiful watch. It's engraving on the inside cover.
Yeah, look here. From an old Marine to a young one.
It's not mine.
Let me show you how it works. Push this lever here, see, on the side? Well, how about it?
I hated them. I hated all of them. Everything about them. That lieutenant. I had to kill him. He was going to get away. I had to kill him. I had to.
Why'd you pick on officers?
They had it coming. Pushing guys around. I hated them. I hated every lousy bone in their bodies.
I'll get the stenographer.
Yeah.
Then knock off and go home. You too, then.
I had to kill him. I hated him. I'll tell them that. I'll tell them like I told you, just like I told you.
Yeah, they'll believe you, mister.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent. On June 17th, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 87, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
It's amazing how many long cigarette smokers are changing to Fatima. Here is the actual report.
From coast to coast, king-size Fatima has more than doubled its smokers.
Yes, more and more smokers every day are discovering that Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes.
Long cigarette smokers find Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Long cigarette smokers find that Fatima is extra mild because it's the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild.
So enjoy extra mild Fatima, best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Clyde
Black and the other 4 members of the Hitchhike Bandit gang were tried and convicted in Superior Court on 1 count of murder and several counts of robbery and assault with intent to commit murder. All 5 are now serving life terms in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.A. Wharton, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet from Los Angeles.
You're tuned for the stars on NBC.
The story you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Fatima Cigarettes, best of all long cigarettes, brings you Dragnet.
You're a detective sergeant. You're assigned to accident investigation, felony details. In the early hours of the morning, a woman pedestrian is struck down by a hit-and-run driver. Your job, find him.
If you want a long cigarette, smoke the best of all long cigarettes. Smoke king-size Fatima. Fatima is the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make Fatima extra mild. And that's why Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma than any other long cigarette. That's why Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast. So, enjoy Fatima, the best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Dragnet, the documented drama of an actual crime. For the next 30 minutes, in cooperation with the Los Angeles, traveled step by step on the side of the law through an actual case from official police files. From beginning to end, from crime to punishment, Dragnet is the story of your police force in action.
It was Monday, September 4th. It was hot in Los Angeles. We were working the night watch out of traffic division. My partner's Ben Romero. The boss is Captain Sullivan, Commander AID. My name's Friday. It was 12:45 a.m. when I got to the second floor at 123 South Figueroa Street. Accident investigation. The Record Bureau. Hi, Wanda.
Hi. Sergeant Romero come back with you? I got a phone message for him.
Well, he's over at Georgia Street. He'll be back in a couple of minutes. You got time to take a 15-7?
Sure.
I got some additional information on a hit-and-run felony.
All right.
Pretty warm up here, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. There's coffee over there if you want it.
No, thanks.
All right, officer's memo. Subject?
Investigation of hit-run felony. BR number 467923. Location 7th and Carondelet Streets. Carondelet.
Mm-hmm.
September 3rd, 11:15 p.m.
Division reporting, AID. Division of occurrence?
Central.
Central. Date and time occurred, September 3rd, 11:15 p.m. Location of occurrence, 7th and Carondelet. Just going to run long, Sergeant?
Oh, page and a half.
Go faster in shorthand. I can transcribe it later.
All right. Excuse me. This is for Captain H.W. Sullivan, commanding AID.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, on the above date at 11:20 p.m., the undersigned officers went to the corner of 7th and Carondelet Streets in response to an ambulance follow-up traffic.
Mm-hmm.
On our arrival there... You got any matches, Wanda?
Yeah, here you are.
Oh, okay, thanks. On our arrival there, we were met by 11T. We witnessed ambulance attendants placing an unconscious woman in an ambulance. She appeared to be critically injured. The victim was removed to Georgia Street Receiving Hospital.
All right.
We then interviewed a man who identified himself as Chester J. Crawford, 540 Old Green Oak Drive. He stated that he was acquainted with the injured woman and that her name was Sheila Gordon, Gordon, 7832.5 7th Street. Crawford told us that he was taking her home from a dance. And they arrived at the intersection of 7th and Carondelet Streets at approximately 11:15 p.m. Okay?
Yeah.
Crawford further stated that while he and Sheila Gordon attempted to cross the intersection, an automobile headed west on 7th Street went through the red traffic light. Would you read that last part back?
Attempted to cross the intersection. An automobile headed west on 7th Street went through the red traffic light.
Okay. Crawford told us that he jumped out of the path of the car and tried to pull Miss Gordon with him. He said that the car struck her down without slowing down, continued out 7th Street, and disappeared.
Wait a minute.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And disappeared. Okay.
Crawford stated the hit-and-run car was either a Dodge or a Plymouth, that it could have been either last year's model or this year's. He described the car... Is too fast, boy?
That's all right.
He described the car as either light blue in color or bluish green. Said that he failed to get the entire license number, but that the last three numbers on the rear plate were either 804 or 304.
804 or 304.
That's right.
Okay.
Fine. Crawford said he made an attempt to follow the hit-run car, but that he was unable to obtain transportation. He stated he then ran to a phone at the Corsev Bar and Grill.
Spell that?
What?
Corsev.
Oh, Corsev. That's at 7th and Carondelet, and called the police. And the undersigned officers then obtained Crawford's full name, address, phone number, and proceeded to question residents in the neighborhood, and were unable to locate any other witnesses besides Crawford.
Okay.
Hi. How'd you do?
Oh, I saw her. That's about all. Doctor says we won't be able to talk to her for at least a couple of days, maybe not at all.
What's your chances?
50-50 if she's heavy on luck. 3 broken ribs, brain concussion, internal injury.
What Lee Jones had to say?
Is that all the report, Sergeant?
Oh, yeah, Wanda. We'll have the rest for you a little later. Thank you.
Okay. I'll type this much up as soon as I can.
Thanks.
Sure.
What Lee Jones had to say?
Nothing. He and Pinker went over the area for an hour. No broken glass from headlights at the PI. No tire impressions worth anything.
No physical evidence.
Where does it leave it?
With a half-dead girl and no suspects.
What do you think, Joe?
I don't know. It's a sour one.
Any kickback on the teletype yet?
No.
That guy she was with, Crawford, not too much help. Looked a little nearsighted to me.
He saw well enough to get out of the way of that car.
You got the notes. How much to give us?
Let's see. I got it here in the book. The car was either a Dodge or a Plymouth, late model. Color, either light blue or blue-green. And the last 3 numbers on the license plate were 804 or 304.
It's a big field to pick from.
That's the only lead we own.
You can call it that, yeah.
Well, I guess we better talk to DMV, get the dope on all cars fitting that description that Crawford gave us.
It's going to be a hard trip. At least 3,000 cars to track down.
Probably closer to 4.
What do we do for help?
We can ask the captain in the morning.
I'll get her.
Okay.
Bracket Bureau now. Yeah, we'll bring them right over. Yeah, bye. Lee Jones again.
Yeah.
Says he wants the clothes Sheila Gordon was wearing at the time of the accident. He figures when she got hit, her clothes must have left fabric marks on the front of the car.
Well, it might work. There's only one trouble.
What's that?
You can paint off fabric marks. Well, it's a long list. Let's take it from the top.
Yeah.
Find the car. Tuesday, September the 5th. We called Mark Benson at DMV and asked for full information on all vehicles fitting the general description of the hit-run car. We went back and talked to the only witness to the hit-and-run, the victim's boyfriend, Chester Crawford. He could add nothing to what he had already told us. There was no response to the local teletype and the all points that were sent out the night before. Garages, auto repair, and paint shops throughout the city were also alerted. Meantime, at General Hospital, the victim, Sheila Gordon, was still close to death. The search for the hit-run car went on. 2 days passed. Thursday, September 7th. The information we requested from DMV was being checked out and compiled. Ben and I met with Captain Sullivan.
That's the last of them, Skipper. All the cars in this area that fit the general description of the one we're after.
You just get it?
Yeah.
How many cars did they list?
4,620.
You more than you expected, eh?
Yeah.
No chance at all of narrowing it down?
None that we can see, no.
Terrific order.
Well, we tried to figure it from every angle. Now we can do it two ways.
Yeah?
We keep the alert on for the hit-run car around the divisions, all the garages in town, the auto repair shops. In other words, we can wait it out. Maybe we'll get the guy, maybe not.
Yeah?
Or we can check out every one of the cars on this list and the registered owners.
Well, the fresh way isn't going to do the job. We know that. 4,600 cars. How much help will you need?
About 30, 40 men.
How long?
A couple of weeks, maybe more.
All right. I think I can get them from Metro Division. When do you want to start?
First thing tomorrow.
Okay, I'll set it up.
All right, Skipper.
Thanks. Excuse me, Joe. There's a lady out here to see you.
Okay, thanks. We'll check you in the morning, Skipper.
Right. That's her over there. Thanks.
My name's Friday, ma'am. This is Sergeant Romero.
How do you do? I'm Dora Lytell, Sergeant. I'm Sheila Gordon's landlady, the girl in the accident.
Yes, ma'am.
And Mr. Crawford, he was with Sheila that night. He told me about you, and he said he thought you might be able to help.
How do you mean?
Well, it's a long story. See, when Sheila Gordon first came to live at my rooming house, she was a good girl like the rest. Lately, well, her being sick now and all, I don't like to say it.
Yeah?
Well, frankly, last few months before the accident, Sheila just went bad completely.
I don't think I follow you, ma'am.
Oh, you know, carousing, all kinds of men, visitors, had a different man in her apartment every night.
Well, we're investigating a hit-run case, ma'am.
Sheila gets out of the hospital. We could talk about her when she's sick like this, but when she's all right, I don't want her back in my rooming house.
I'm afraid that's none of our business either, man.
But if you could talk to Sheila, persuade her to move from my house, I don't want any wrangle with the rental board again. Couldn't you talk to her?
Besides, there's nothing we can do, ma'am. You better talk to her yourself.
It'll just be another row like the last time. Shameless woman. I don't want Sheila Gordon back in my house. I'll go to that hospital myself and tell her.
She's a pretty sick girl.
It's not my fault. Go right over to that hospital and tell her what I think of her.
She's hurt pretty bad.
So am I. She's hurt me. What's the difference?
You haven't been run over by a car. Next morning, Sergeants Reed and McLennan, Ben and myself joined the 40 men from Metropolitan Division who had started checking out the first of the 4,620 suspected cars. The detail was broken down into teams, and each team was handed a list containing the names of 100 registered car owners. It was a long job and a dull one. Dozens of people weren't at home when we called. We had to rig up a system of checkbacks for each one of these. Some cars had changed hands 2 and 3 times. That meant more checking. By the end of the second week, we'd gone through more than half of the 4,600 names on the list. By the end of the fourth week, we had less than 1,000 to go. At the General Hospital, the victim, Sheila Gordon, was pronounced out of danger and recovering. We questioned her, but all she could tell us was that she thought the hit-and-run car was a dark color. The search went on. Monday, October 6th, Ben and I spent a 10-hour day checking a list of car owners south of town. It was 6:35 p.m. when we got back to the office.
Hi.
Hi, Reed. How'd you do today?
Fair. Looks like we got one.
What do you mean?
Guy's name is Ralph Angelo. Let's see. 8690 Backerley Road. Checked him out early this morning. First call.
What'd you get?
One's a late model Plymouth, light blue. License number, there it is, 17R2804. Wasn't home. Talked to his wife.
Yeah?
She said the car's been sitting home in the garage for the past month. Husband won't drive it.
What's the story?
Told her there was something wrong with it. He was going to trade it in. McLennan and I tried it. Car's in first-class shape.
What about the front end of the car?
Pretty clean. One of the bars and the radiator grill slightly bent. Soft crease on the hood. Another one in the right fender.
Did you bring the car in?
Yeah. Crown has been working on it since lunch down in the garage.
Anything else?
Found a gas receipt in the glove compartment, dated September 3rd, night of the accident.
Where's Angelo now?
Santa Barbara, business trip. Due home tonight about 10. McLennan and I'll pick him up then. See what he's got to say.
That sounds good. How many possibilities does that make, Joe?
Well, let me see. Out of 3,700 we've checked, about 4 good ones. I'll get that. Accident investigation, Friday.
Hi, Joe. This is Lee Jones.
Yeah, Lee.
Just finished checking the Plymouth Reed and McLennan brought in.
You find anything?
Fabric prints on front bumper and the hood.
Oh?
Indentation of soft object on hood and right front fender. Something else on that fender.
What's that?
Set of lip impressions.
What's it mean?
We found the car. Only one job left.
Yeah?
Find the driver.
You are listening to Dragnet, the case history of a police investigation presented in the public interest by Fatima Cigarettes.
If you smoke a long cigarette, it will be in your interest to listen to a typical case history of a Fatima smoker.
It's the case of attorney R. Michael Charters, member of the New York Bar. And this is his actual signed statement.
Lawyers are always working against time. Long hours mean smoking more, and that's why I prefer extra mild Fatimas. I recommend them to anyone who likes a king-size cigarette. In my opinion, it's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
And more smokers are discovering this every day. Actual figures show Fatima has more than doubled its smokers coast to coast.
So enjoy Fatima yourself.
The long cigarette, which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos, superbly blended to make it extra mild.
You will prefer Fatima's much different, much better flavor.
You will agree.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
The best of all long cigarettes.
Monday, October 6th, 10 p.m. Suspect Ralph Angelo was picked up at his home by investigating officers and brought downtown to the interrogation room. Sergeants Reed and McLennan, Ben, and myself questioned him for 3 hours. At 1:30 a.m., we took Angelo to the county jail where he was booked on suspicion of 501 vehicle code, hit and run felony. The next morning, we obtained a warrant from the district attorney's office, and later that day, Ralph Angelo was arraigned in Municipal Court Division 7. A date was set for his preliminary hearing in municipal court. Sheila Gordon recovered from her injuries and was released from the general hospital. On October 10th, the preliminary hearing was held. Sheila Gordon was on the stand most of the morning. After the noon recess, I was called to testify.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give pending in this case be the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
State your name.
Joe Friday.
Be seated.
State your name, please.
Joe Friday.
Your address.
4656 Collis Avenue.
Your occupation.
I'm a police officer in and for the city of Los Angeles.
Are you one of the investigating officers assigned to this case?
I am.
Did you have a conversation with the defendant regarding this case?
I did.
Where?
In the traffic division at 123 South Figueroa Street.
Who's present?
The defendant, Sergeants McLennan, Reed, Romero, and myself.
Were the statements made by the defendant free and voluntary?
They were.
Was there any promise of immunity or reward of the use of force or violence inducing the next statement?
No, there was not.
Tell the court the extent of the conversation at that time.
Well, first of all, I asked him if he was the registered owner of a 1948 Plymouth automobile, California license number 17 Arthur 2804. He admitted that he was. And then I asked him if he was driving that car on the night of September 3rd. He said he was, but that he did not drive anywhere near the location of the hit-and-run felony that night at 7th and Carondelet Street.
Did the defendant tell you where he drove his car that night?
No, sir.
You asked the defendant where he drove his car that night of September 3rd?
Yes, I did.
And what did he answer?
Well, he said, none of your business.
Did you persist in this line of questioning?
Yes, I did.
The defendant continued to refuse to give you the information?
That's right.
Did the defendant state where he was on the night of September 3rd, between 10 p.m. and midnight?
He refused to tell us.
You advised the defendant at that time that his car had been impounded for investigation?
That's right.
Did you advise him that several points of incriminating evidence had been found in the car?
Yes, we did.
And what did he say in answer?
Well, he said, you can't prove a thing. I wasn't near the place. You can't prove a thing.
Was that the extent of the conversation between you and the defendant?
It was.
Thank you, that's all.
Counsel for defense?
No questions, Your Honor. Leland Jones, come stand.
Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear swear the testimony you're about to give pending this case be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
State your name.
Lee Jones.
Please seated.
Your occupation?
I'm a police officer in and for the city of Los Angeles.
What particular detail are you assigned to?
I'm a lieutenant in charge of the police crime laboratory.
Well, counsel for defense stipulate the witness as a qualified forensic chemist?
So stipulated.
Mr. Jones, you are the commander in charge of the police department scientific investigation division. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Jones, I will show you a photograph of an automobile. California license number 1782804 to be marked People's Exhibit C. Have you ever seen this car before?
I have.
Where and when did you see it, please?
I saw it at the Traffic Division Garage, 123 South Figueroa Street, Monday, October 6th this year.
Did you make an examination of this car at that time?
I did.
What did the examination consist of? And what were your findings?
I made a systematic examination of the car using oblique lighting from a 500-watt photo flood lamp and a bell-type reflector. I found the following evidence. On the front bumper of the car, I found fabric marks consisting of 51 threads to the inch. I then took a perpendicular photograph of those marks with a copy camera. Here is a photograph of that portion of the bumper containing those marks.
Well, I wish this photograph be marked People's Exhibit D for identification.
Let it be so.
You proceed, please, Mr. Jones. What else did you find in your examination of the defendant's car?
I found fabric marks on the cowling of the car, extending back under the hood. These marks were made by fabric having a weave of 38 ribs to the inch. I have here a photograph of those marks.
Thank you. I'm going to ask this photograph to mark People's Exhibit E. So, Mark, what else did you find in your examination of the car, Mr. Jones?
I also noted an indentation in the right portion of the car's hood. It had the appearance of having been made by a soft object enclosed in fabric striking the car.
Would a human body struck by a car make such an indentation?
Yes, it would. Here's a photograph I took of that indentation on the defendant's car.
I'm going to ask this photograph to mark as People's Exhibit F. So marked. All right, continue, Mr. Jones.
On the top of the right-hand fender of the car, I found a lip imprint in red lipstick. I lifted that print with a piece of cellophane tape, then placed the tape on a plain white card, which I have right here with me.
Thank you. This card would mark People's Exhibit G. So marked. Now, Mr. Jones, these pieces of evidence which you found on the defendant's car, did you compare them with other objects?
I did.
Will you please state what comparisons you made and your findings?
Well, in the first place, I find that the fabric marks in People's Exhibit C, taken from the bumper of the car, has the same count per inch as the stockings worn by the victim, Sheila Gordon. Secondly, I found the fabric marks shown in People's Exhibit D from the cowling hood of the car to be the same count per inch as the coat worn by the defendant. I further made a comparison between the lip imprint found on the right fender, as shown in People's Exhibit G, and various exemplars of the victim's lips. She made the exemplars by placing her lips against heavy, stiff white paper. I have those exemplars with me.
Okay. That's the remark of People's Exhibit H.
So marked.
Now, may I ask, how did the lip imprint taken from the defendant's car compare with these sample imprints made by the victim's lips?
I found that there were 17 points of similarity between the two. These points of similarity consist of various small lines or wrinkles which match identically, as may be seen in the photograph.
Jones, do you have an opinion as to the origin of the lip imprint on the defendant's car as shown in People's Exhibit G?
I do.
What is that opinion?
It's my opinion that the lip imprint on the defendant's car, as shown in Exhibit G, was made by the lips of the victim, Sheila Gordon.
Who is it?
So, Mr. Jones, we
recognize, of course, that you're a qualified forensic chemist. But are you going to set yourself up as an expert on women's lips, too?
Well, I've done some research in that department, too.
Mr. Jones, isn't it possible that any number of lip imprints made by different people would look exactly alike?
No, it is not possible. There are no two things in the world exactly alike. There are no two sets of lip imprints alike.
Well, anyone who's been around at all would know that. That's all, Mr. Jones. Thank you.
Repeating the case, Your Honor.
Counsel for the defense?
We will not offer any defense at this time, Your Honor.
It appears to me that a felony has been committed and reasonable cause to believe that the defendant committed it. The defendant will be held to answer in Superior Court.
Tuesday, November 4th. Suspect Ralph Angelo was arraigned in Superior Court, Department 88, and the date of his trial was set for December 1st. During the weeks preceding the set of the trial, we worked with Lee Jones and the District Attorney's Office preparing the case against Ralph Angelo. 2 days before the trial opened, we had a visit from one of the men from the DA's office, process server.
Hi, Bud.
Hi. We got trouble.
Yeah?
Sheila Gordon's disappeared.
Wednesday, December 1st, Ralph Angelo's trial opened and Sheila Gordon was called to the stand. She failed to appear. We checked her few known friends in the city. They couldn't help. She had disappeared from her new address and taken everything with her. A bench warrant was issued by Superior Court for Sheila Gordon. The Deputy District Attorney succeeded in having the court grant a delay in order to find the missing girl, in this case, the complaining witness. Meantime, we got out a local broadcast and an APB. We got missing persons detail to help out in the search. Still no sign. Ralph Angelo's lawyer asked the court for dismissal of the hit-and-run felony case because of Sheila Gordon's failure to appear. On December the 8th, the court ruled on the motion.
Regarding the motion by the defense for dismissal of hit-and-run felony charges against Ralph C. Angelo, because of the prosecution's failure to produce the complaining witness, to which Sheila R. Gordon, the court feels it would not serve the interests of justice to continue the case. Case dismissed.
The search for Sheila Gordon went on. Behind us, we had logged 3 solid months of police work, checking and running down more than 4,000 cars. Hours of labor in the crime lab. More hours pounding the pavement, questioning people, checking, rechecking. Without a trial and a conviction, it didn't mean a thing. 3 days before Christmas, we received information that the missing girl was living in a small town south of Los Angeles. Ben and I checked the address.
What was the apartment number?
7A, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Again.
Yeah? Oh, you two. Come in. Sit down. Make yourself at home. I'm sorry the place is such a mess. A little party earlier tonight. It's messed up.
What about the trial? Why didn't you show?
Come on, sit down. See, I'll tell you what. I'll freshen up a little, put on some makeup.
What about the trial?
I didn't have anything against the guy. Didn't mean to run me down. You wouldn't happen to have a drink on you, would you?
You know better than that.
Why didn't you show up at the trial?
I told you, I didn't have anything against the guy.
What was it, a payoff?
Look, why don't we go out and get something, then we can come back and have a party.
How much did he give you?
$50. He was awful nice.
You agreed not to show in court.
I didn't have anything against the guy, that's all.
Better get your coat.
Why?
That's what the court wants to know.
You're taking me in. Why? Is there any law against forgiving?
Yeah, when you get paid for it.
The story you have just heard was true. Only the names were changed to protect the innocent.
On February 3rd, trial was held in Superior Court, Department 88, City and County of Los Angeles, State of California. In a moment, the results of that trial.
It's amazing how many long cigarette smokers are changing to Fatima. Here is the actual report.
From coast to coast, king-size Fatima has more than doubled its smokers.
Yes, more and more smokers every day are discovering that Fatima is the best of all long cigarettes.
Long cigarette smokers find Fatima has a much different, much better flavor and aroma.
Long cigarette smokers find that Fatima is extra mild because it's the long cigarette which contains the finest Turkish and domestic tobaccos superbly blended to make it extra mild.
So enjoy extra mild Fatima, best of all long cigarettes.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
It's wise to smoke extra mild Fatima.
Sheila Gordon was returned to Los Angeles, and a new date was set for the trial of Ralph Angelo. Subsequently, he was tried and found guilty as charged. Angelo was also tried, along with Sheila Gordon, for compounding a felony. They were both convicted and received a sentence as prescribed by law. They are now serving their terms in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases from official files. Technical advice for Dragnet comes from the Office of Chief of Police W.A. Wharton, Los Angeles Police Department.
Fatima Cigarettes, the best of all long cigarettes, has brought you Dragnet from Los Angeles.